like paddles and known as peels. The loaded peels slide the crackers off onto each shelf of the oven to be baked. When the crackers are peeled out of the oven, they are slid onto the conveyor belt that carries them slowly to allow them time to cool on their way to the packing room. Most of the Cross crackers will be packaged in attractive red and white cellophane windowed cartons. This attractive new carton bears a selection of easy recipes using Cross crackers. These crackers are sold throughout the United States and are well known as a famous Vermont product. Sanitation is not just a word in this plant, but a way of life. A trained crew supervised by a graduate sanitarian works long hours to keep spotless the plant floors, walls, windows, and machines. Most rooms are scrubbed and polished daily, while all receive a thorough cleaning at least one day each week while the plant is not operating. Machine operators are responsible for the cleaning of their machines after each dough. Sanitation does not cease when the product leaves the plant. Each of the company's many trucks also receives frequent washing both inside and out. The Cross Baking Company employs a competent staff of men to keep all trucks or any unit needing paint in a neat and attractive condition. 26 trucks covering over 2,000 miles daily require constant maintenance to keep them operating efficiently. They must always be in a condition to render rapid service to all customers. Route salesmen who are skilled drivers cover roads made hazardous many times by sleet and ice. Skilled sign painters work on the newly painted trucks. They apply the letters that read Betsy Ross Bread, the old-fashioned loaf. And it's a simple fact, not boasting, to tell you that sales figures week after week show more and more people are heeding the slogan, better reach for Betsy Ross Bread. Here we are back at the front of the bakery, our tour completed. Helen has enjoyed her trip, and we hope you have also. It's strange how we visualize the way things are made. Then when we actually see it done, how very different it might be. Just think of the many machines, the many careful operations, the many trained people it takes to make and deliver one loaf of bread. Commercial baking is no simple process. Products on parade. Let's join the reviewing stand. The variety may surprise you. For dessert, some Betsy Ross cupcakes should hit the spot. And here are dinner dessert suggestions. Frosted layer cake is a quick, ready-to-serve answer when time is short, but when time permits, take either a Betsy Ross angel cake or sponge layer cake and covered with your own original frosting or topping. Angel cakes covered with custard or whipped cream and chilled before serving will cause the family to ask for more. Or take the sponge layer cake, fill between the layers with your own choice of filling, and cover the top with boiled icing or berries in season. Breakfast would not be complete without Betsy Ross crullers, jelly, or hand-cut donuts on the table. Children love English muffins, toasted and then spread with butter, jam, or jelly. At lunchtime, a variety of sandwiches can be made. If members of the family take a lunch to work or school, the large Betsy Ross sandwich loaf is your best buy. To add variety to the lunches, some sandwiches can be made of cracked wheat, Swedish rye, raisin, oatmeal, or non-fattening Hollywood bread. You may say it looks like work ahead. Not at all. You see, when Helen plans to have friends in for the evening, she'd like to do it the easy way. Why stay at home all afternoon working to prepare refreshments for them? How much easier it is to let your baker do the work for you. Betsy Ross bread can be made into a variety of delicious sandwiches, is an easy suggestion with a large variety of tasty spreads available in today's modern food stores. A jar of this, a can of that, whipped up together and spread on soft, fresh slices of Betsy Ross bread will please the most particular guests. Many of us do not recognize the importance of taking enough time to do our grocery shopping with care. Food, good food, is the most important commodity we buy. Nutritious food containing the proper food elements not only satisfy hungry appetites, but has a bearing on our family's health and happiness. You see, healthy people are happy people, and happy people contribute much in making pleasant family relationships. Bread is so easy to buy, so we sometimes forget that once upon a time, bread was practically the only food man made. Primitive man was probably driven to eating kernels of wild grain when threatened with starvation. Perhaps he found that grain was more filling and tasted better when soaked in hot water. Next, the kernels were pounded between stones, made into porridge, possibly cooked to resemble a pancake. This flat bread was no doubt spread on a rock, then thrust into a fire. The earliest known millstones, more than 1,000 years old, are Swiss, used by the oldest civilized inhabitants of Europe. However, the Egyptians were the first commercial bakers, and they apparently were the first to add leavening to dough. Evidence of ovens for bread baking dates many centuries before Christ. Every level of society then had its own bread. Indeed, bread was sometimes used as currency. In 2000 BC, bread was even considered a special gift for friends. Later on, the Greeks, who invented the first closed oven, held the reputation as the most skillful bakers of their day. In fact, they boasted 72 different kinds of bread. And did you know the mighty Roman Empire was founded on bread? Many historians credit bread with Rome's rise and fall. Romans taught the art of baking by their Greek captives. But the Romans invented the public ovens. Rome itself, the strategic center of the empire, supported its population on bread grown from wheat. Wheat from England, France, Spain, Africa, Egypt, and Macedonia. Countries on the fringes of the empire. When the savage invaders cut these wheat supplies, Roman armies were crippled. Without bread, Rome was doomed. At a later date in Paris, the monks had control of the baking. Their public oven tax went toward supporting the poor. Later still, a guild of master bakers monopolized the French baking. Only in 1863 did French baking become a free trade. And in England, before the 18th century, more rye was grown than wheat. In fact, all grains were then called corn. Here, water power for milling was used primarily, and back in Europe, the French Revolution was actually the outgrowth of a bread famine. In Holland, during a bread shortage, a doctor's prescription was needed to buy bread. And in 1673, in Sicily, during a bread shortage, bread was literally worth its weight in gold. Well, such are some stories of the importance of bread. Now, in thousands upon thousands of homes for good eating, baked goods are served every day at all meals. Do you enjoy clean, attractively packaged baked goods? Soft, fresh, and full of flavor?